This is Billy D TV on Billy D Radio on YouTube.com. And you know what? We still do not have a theme. We still don't have a theme. Anyone of those of you, if any of you out there have a suggestion of what a theme that I could sink my teeth into and that you would enjoy, what that would be, I would like to know. You know, it may take some education. What is that? Oh, it's a screen. May take some, extra double time efforts to come up with the final product. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. Okay, I don't know what to zero in on. I don't know. It could have been. I had a concussion. I've lost something from that. Did I lose some of my creative abilities? Or have I always been horrible at coming up with ideas? Do I do better with just spinning off of someone else's idea? Absolutely. Do I borrow from other people creatively? Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I definitely don't want to do a show about politics. I'm not crazy or stupid. We're in a dictatorship right now. That is just, you know what? It's not my job. If I made it in broadcasting and was on, giving you the news somewhere, then I would take it. It'd be like, a vow, a responsibility of my duty to the people to do so. Practice what you preach, Rachel Maddow, I just watched her the other night. She's like, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you protested? Have you signed up for this? Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done any of that? I doubt it. So stop telling me to do it, She does lecture at times. And, way too much ass kissing going on. Whenever I see her colleagues around her, it's just like, you're the LeBron James of our business. Oh, okay, so you're, basically taking too much money and using nepotism to, manipulate management, letting your son play, and to the point where you're getting paid $45 million a year and your team's can't even make it past the first round of the playoffs. No, I guess maybe that's you, that's fine. I watch her. I'm really, I'm interested in what she has to say. I think she does a great job. But I just don't like the ass kissing part of it, because I worked in TV news for a year. I spent 6 years in radio, so and then all together with all the volunteer work and, the community work that I've done, it's been about, in the education and all that, it's been about 20 years in broadcasting altogether, give or take, Didn't make a dime. Borderline personality disorder is tough. I've been diagnosed with that. I'm not suicidal. I'm not, thinking I'd be better off dead. I'm more apt to watch the movie and have a laugh about something like that. I'm a little too crazy to be suicidal. Okay. Especially, because, to feel that way or to be following someone else's negative energy that just happens to, find its way through your, mental telepathic journey for that day. Fuck them. You know what I mean? Fuck them. If you're not making, if people tell you that they're not happy with you, why don't you tell them you're not happy with them? I don't know. Take it. I don't like to start shit. I just prefer to let things blow over if possible. It's best to walk away from a conflict or a confrontation if you can, while they're yelling at you, to your back while you're walking away, throwing insults at you that is just prescribed response retaliation. If you can walk away while people are laughing and go along with them and all the theatrics and everything. There's nothing like real life theatrics, is there? We go to movies if we're missing some of that, or so we can experience that without catching any of the harm from it. You know what I mean? Because even if you're in an office and you're seeing some of the, edgier portrayals of negative energy and extortion and manipulation and just downright betrayal, absolute hurtful situations. When you're in that, you just gotta brush it off. You gotta shake it off. Get out of there. Go to where you feel good. Follow your instinct. It's a God-given thing that we've been given, is to figure out what the fuck is going on, and we can do that on our own. On our own. I don't know what the hell to call this podcast. What do you think? I just want to talk. I want to tell jokes. I want to do commentary. But, I'm not going to sit here and put myself in a situation where all I'm talking about is politics. But I'm glad that people do. There's people out there. There's a dude out there, Kyle, that does it and doesn't ask for anything in return. And I'm watching these other motherfuckers who are taking all the money that is coming their way, which is total capitalism. But yet they're supposed to be... I just go to Kyle, man, because it's just coming straight from. You know what I mean? Dude will ramble. Dude will just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He's on a tangent. So am I. That's the way I think. It's the way I operate. It's the way I talk. I just know I would get along with this guy. And I haven't emailed him yet, messaged him, but I feel like he would help me out. I feel like he would answer my question. Listen, these shows also, I think Kyle does really good. He's always in a suit. He's really polished. Apparently has a, beautiful backyard and stuff. I'd imagine that, he doesn't, he's not worried about the legal defense. But, people like that have been threatened, like Pac-Man and a couple others, they read those commercials and get that money, and he literally says, I'm working on my legal defense. This is for retainer. This is why. Does a good job. It's just sitting through commercials for the viewer, for the listener, sucks. I mean, if your best example of that is if you're in the car and you're switching radio stations, okay? Because you can't figure, you know what I mean? Bum, 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 bum. Whoever's playing the commercials, goodbye. I noticed that there's one station, the station I used to work for. I'm still proud to say I did. Legendary rock and roll station, been around since 1973, 1 year older than me, WBLM 102.9 Portland, Maine. Maine's classic rock and roll animal. Maine's rock and roll animal, Maine's rock and roll station. And they play their spots when nobody else is playing spots, which I think is brilliant, and they squeeze in extra spots by doing it. Plus, they have the loyal core of listeners that none of the other stations really have. Not to that extent. Blimpsters, it's a whole society, Blimpville. I enjoyed being there. But again, borderline personality disorder doesn't work in radio. It doesn't work in the media for sure. I mean, if there's any field it doesn't work in, it's any of those fields that when you're working with people that closely, it's just very conflicting. And you put a chip on the shoulder and just, to be honest with you, just all that fucking nonsense from like all those 14 years of school, all that bullshit. It just took me so long to just get over that. So when I was, less than 5 years out of that, and getting told this and told that, I just told people off, and I said, fuck you. Basically, I yelled at people. I told people, don't be in the studio when I'm recording. And people would just disrespect it all the time and things like this. And I get it, but, I told them. They disobeyed. They got what they deserved. And I look back at it now and I'm like, you know what? I just yell at those people harder. I just yell at them more often. I just do worse than I did. Or I would fucking leave. I probably would just fucking leave, But I'm proud of what I did. I worked for, 3 an oldies and 2 rock stations, and I rocked out, man. I did the best I could do, and I achieved a lot, and I did it in a short time. I was told you didn't spend enough time. I was told, peach fuzz on the ears. But that's not true. I mean, no one else can tell you you didn't spend enough time. When you look on the TV and you see people making it like Carson Daly in the matter of months, they got their own show. I mean, what do you mean? I mean, what do you mean about that? I don't think the broadcasting field is designed to like slowly work your way up, although it works for people, but generally no. I mean, that's just not the way of that. That field is just not that way. people aren't that way in that field. Short attention spans, got to keep on moving, keep on rocking. We're going to get out right about now. It's 10 minutes of a podcast from Billy D TV on youtube.com, Billy D Radio. We'll see you later.